The specialty stitches of the Husqvarna Viking Designer Brilliance 80 are quite a wide range. So today we're going to talk about the sequin stitches. Stitches that actually require sequins that are to be stitched in place. So how do we find these stitches? So they are in the specialty menu here, and that is going to be menu L. L has a variety of dimensional stitches in it. So first the applique stitches, the pop-up stitches, and then starting at stitch number 19, the sequin stitches. Now another way to get to those stitches is to go to the Joy OS Advisor, come over to Select Technique and pick Dimensional Stitches, and then come here and actually pick Sequin Stitches. Now, the nice thing about going this direction is that you're going to get the pop-up menu that will guide you for how to get it set up, what supplies, and that most important video of how these stitches are going to be done. It also opens up the brown tab, which is a project tab, and loads only the sequin stitches. Notice we don't see applique stitches, we don't see regular stitches, just the stitches that pertain to this technique. So if we go ahead and minimize this, and let's just go ahead and select a stitch. This one does show that it's wider than a normal stitch, and the foot has a question mark. Now I like to use an open toe foot, a foot where I can see what I'm doing and also guide the sequins right into position. The other thing you do notice is that there are red lines that are even with where the needle's going in and out. That will help you get that sequin pushed in far enough so when the needle comes in, it actually goes into the hole nice and even. So it's just a great way to try out something new. I'd stitch out all the stitches so you can see the different varieties as you go. Now, I will also show you what you're looking for sequins. You need to have some type of flat sequin. Now, if you just go to a hobby store or craft store, you might find those sequins that have a little cup to them, and I'll tell you, they actually don't work. You need the ones that are perfectly flat. Now I'll show you a little secret. One day I was walking by the trims aisle in my local store, and I saw the sequins that were on the elastic, and lo and behold, they are the perfect size for these. So I just got a yard, and by golly, there are tons of sequins. You just have to kind of take your fingers and slide them off the end, put them all in a little bag, and you'll have sequins to use. Now the other thing I did find, and not all these stitches can allow for it, but I will show you. I found some of these flat sequins also in the hobby area. So just look for things that could have a hole in them that you could actually use. Now these I do use with, say, stitch number 5, where we actually add it to the end of this stitch. So they hop into, and that's kind of fun because they're just spread out just enough to make them not touch. So I'll show you both of those. Okay, let's get ready to stitch some sequins. The first thing you want to do is engage the needle stopping in the down position. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get my fabric where I want, because as soon as I touch it, that is going to go down. Once I stitch the stitch that I am wanting to do, it's going to stop with that needle in the down position. I do like to use the start-stop button because then I know that when the machine stops, that's when I need to insert a sequin. So you need something a little pointy to help move the sequin into position. And where do you notice the needle? It's right now on the right. So as I push this sequin into the area, the stitch is going to come right to the center of the current stitch. And so I want to put the hole over that general area. And even if I want, look at the red lines this way and see if you are pushed in far enough. I know our eyesight is from the front angle, so we might sometimes need to see, is that really going to be far enough to inward for it to catch. Now, two things. Number one, sometimes weather is staticky, and so if I don't hold that sequin in place, it could kind of pop out because it might feel drawn to attach itself to somewhere else. So as I sew, I can go ahead, I might even slow the machine down just a little bit, and then that way as I push the start stop button, it's going to gently go into that, but I am going to kind of just hold that in position as it goes forward. Okay, so I was talking and I moved it just a little bit while I was going. So let's just go ahead, we'll get to the next one. And you do need to kind of get a rhythm as well as a feel of how you're going to slide this in, what to push when, how to get it to stay where you want it to go, and then just go ahead. So it's currently today is not a staticky day, which is nice. I'm going to just be able to slide the sequin right into position. There's not really a part of the foot that is holding the sequin while I do it. Here, let's try this one. So really, once I set it and leave it, no, there is a little bit, but that's okay. We'll just set it there. That the needle's going to hop into that hole and get it to hold into position. And once you want it to stop, touch the scissor button and it will finish that last stitch for you. So even if your sequins get off just a little bit, when it's all said and done, you're going to see the whole picture and you really won't notice if you missed it. But when you do hit it square on in the center of that hole, you really know that you did it right. So with a little practice, try out the different sequins, try out maybe a couple different sizes that work for you, and you will find that these stitches will probably add the bling that you're looking for on your next project.